because in case any other companies don't want to come to ours and invest in our country, they say, oh, I don't want to deal with President Trump. I want to go to this island that doesn't have any people on it, only penguins, and start my company there. President Trump is ahead of the game and is tariffing that country in case anybody tries to go there.
Yep.
So he is really just taking one step forward. He's playing 3D chess here, and I think a lot of people are going to start getting on board.
You've had a busy week. You've had a busy week at the White House.
Oh yeah, every week is so busy. I mean, from tariffs to these new jobs numbers. I mean, it's been crazy here at the White House. You should have seen what it was like the past 2 days. Not only yesterday, but the day before, Liberation Day as well. It was packed with foreign press, and it just makes everything so much more difficult. Whether you want to be in the briefing room, you want to be in the Rose Garden for these big announcements, you want to see President Trump departing off the South Lawn. The foreign press is just everywhere. Today, as you can see, it's pretty dead, which is a stark contrast to what we've been seeing all week. But nonetheless, another majorly busy week here at the White House.
Yeah, do you guys kind of look forward to it when Trump heads to the Winter White House in Mar-a-Lago? It's like, okay, we can kind of get some stuff done around here for a little bit.
Yeah, especially errands on the weekend. A lot of things we want to take care of during the week, we can finally take care of on the weekends, but then the weekends are never long enough, as you probably know, Chris.
No, and I just saw your reporting from this morning. It could be a bit of a dicey weekend in D.C. They've put up barricades around the White House, and they're bracing for protests. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, this Saturday, tomorrow actually, is called the Hands Off 2025 protest. There's going to be thousands of people descending on the National Mall. Will probably end up being right here outside the White House, which is why they have this riot fencing up. This is nothing new from the left. I mean, they're going to be protesting President Trump and his agenda. They're going to be protesting Elon Musk, saying that, Elon Musk has been looting the government and killing off jobs and taking all of our money. And Elon Musk is a Nazi. And let's go protest Tesla as well while we're at it. So we're going to see a lot of protesters outside the White House right now. It's been quiet, but the riot fencing is up. I'm going to be there tomorrow, just covering it as a reporter on the ground there, kind of trying to go undercover so nobody really sees me, just trying to talk to people and ask, why are you here? Why are you so upset? And we'll see, what they look like when they turn out. I mean, usually they have these crazy looking signs. So it's definitely going to be interesting, but it's not only here in DC, it's also going to be nationally across the country.
Okay, well, we'll be looking forward to your updates from that. You can find Monica on X at Monica Paige TV. So there'll be updates all weekend long. But if they're going to be complaining about the jobs that Elon is destroying, I mean, are you going to bring up the jobs report numbers that came out this morning?
Yeah, I mean, massive gains in the job sector, especially in the manufacturing, trade, warehousing, and even in the health sector as well. About 228,000 new jobs. That's up almost 100,000 from February, and 155,000 private sector jobs, which is very exciting. But I mean, I don't know why these protesters are so upset. I mean, but we also know that the biggest loser of the week or the month, and last month as well, the month before, was federal workers, because they are down another 6,000 jobs compared to February's 11,000 losses in the federal job sector. But this is exactly the work that Doge said that they would be doing, and the work that President Trump has been trying to do. I mean, we understand that during the Biden administration, he implemented and really inflated a lot of those jobs numbers. So we saw massive job gains, but in the federal workers section. So that's the taxpayer dime. That's a lot of money. So now we're seeing this deflation of these federal workers, and that's big. That's more money in our pockets, to the taxpayer dollars back in our pockets, and that's essentially a good thing. And a lot of people are really upset about it, but I think this is great for those in the private jobs. This is great for those who are getting back to work. They want to work, and they want to work here in the United States and invest here in the United States, which is also ties into tariffs, and we can get into that as well. But I mean, those jobs numbers are incredible for this month, definitely exceeding expectations. And even wages are up too, 4.6% for those who have kept their jobs. That's up, and for those who have gotten new jobs, those wages are up 6.8%.
That's awesome.
This is all very positive. Yes, absolutely.
And it's what we campaigned on, right? It was America first, and it still is. And when Biden was putting out job numbers, if I recall correctly, it was like last year's job numbers were revised down by about 1 million. Like, it's insane. Yeah. And it was all federal workers. It's crazy. Now, on the tariffs, behind the scenes at the White House, are the leftist reporters coping and seething as much as they're coping and seething on the air?
Yes, absolutely. And it's so funny to see the way that this is being reported on as if like, this is going to be damaging to free trade. It's not. If anything, this is going to make trade even freer because now you're going to be negotiating with these other countries to bring down their tariffs so that we can make trade happen between other countries. There's a recent report actually that came out just this morning that President Trump held a call with the General Secretary of Vietnam, and now Vietnam is looking to inch even closer to removing all tariffs to make
Yep.
this easier. Thailand, I believe, and Israel have completely eliminated their tariffs, which is great for the United States. And India is also looking to move a little bit closer to removing all their tariffs. So, this is going to be a very good thing. This country has been ripped off for years, especially under the Biden administration. And we have implemented a base level kindness tariff of just half of what they've been tariffing us. So this is going to be massive. That's just a baseline. So if any other country wants to violate any sort of trade agreement, we can always bump up our tariffs on them even further. So this is just the beginning. And if anything, this is going to grow the United States domestically. We rely on our own products from our own countries.
Yep.
And a lot of these critics are saying this is going to drive up inflation. But if you take a look at the deflationary tactics that the president is implementing, drilling here at home, the tax incentives from 2017 that he implemented, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, all of these will come. It's going to hurt a little bit. This is short-term pain, but there's going to be very much long-term gains.
Yeah, and oil prices are dramatically falling today, which is fantastic. That's going to ripple through the economy very fast. And people are saying, but the stock market. And I just say it reacts to news. And I think that one of the things we're going to see with these countries coming in to negotiate is just round after round of good news from these different countries.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the beginning. This is not even like a week into these tariff announcements that you're going to start seeing more countries come up. And what I think is really funny is that there's a very small Australian-owned island. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it is completely inhabited by penguins. There's not a single human that inhabits this little island. And the reason why President Trump is tariffing 10% on that country is because in case any other companies don't want to come to ours and invest in our country, they say, oh, I don't want to deal with President Trump. I want to go to this island that doesn't have any people on it, only penguins, and start my company there. President Trump is ahead of the game and is tariffing that country in case anybody tries to go there.
Yep.
So he is really just taking one step forward. He's playing 3D chess here, and I think a lot of people are going to start getting on board.
Yeah. And I saw the Democrats, laughing about the penguins, but you nailed it. And you see it on these islands all the time that they're these tax havens. They're where people are bringing jobs and manufacturing to get around certain laws. So
Yep.
yeah, he's ahead of the game. They just don't understand, or they're lying through their teeth to push a narrative.
Yeah, and it's these little islands that maybe many people even haven't even heard of, which I think is so interesting. And to see that we're already getting tariffs on them, or we're crazy amount of taxes as far as trade goes, and these little tiny islands, like that is insane to me that we have been just taken advantage of by these islands that no one has really even heard of. So this is a sign of good things to come for sure.
Yeah, everybody's been taking advantage of us just ad nauseum for decades, and it's all changing very quickly. The left is very upset. Speaking of things that made the left very upset, I saw earlier this week you were walking through that plaza that is no longer BLM Plaza.
Yeah, what's interesting is that I was expecting to see some kind of protesters outside, some kind of unrest or unruliness outside the White House on BLM, formerly BLM Plaza, excuse me. It's a sign of hope. It's definitely a sign of change. And I think what's interesting is that the legislation that was brought forward to DC Mayor Muriel Bowser is either you get rid of this or see you can kiss your funding goodbye. And she bent the knee. She says, you know what, you're right. And this comes from a string of calls from the the Trump administration saying, hey, you got to get rid of this because it's not doing anything for safety. You got this giant mural in the middle of the street here that nobody's paying attention to. Nobody even looks at it or cares for it. What are we doing with this? And they have finally decided to dismantle it. It's completely paved over. It looks absolutely beautiful now. And it's just a matter of what they're going to rename it to. I mean, there's rumors that it could be called Patriot Plaza. There's rumors it could be called Liberty Plaza. I think we'll find out very soon. I think this White House will be working with DC Mayor Bowser on a possible renaming and what it could turn into.
Let's go. I'm here for it. We're talking with Monica Paige. Yep. She is the White House reporter for Turning Point USA's Frontlines division, and she is live from the White House North Lawn. If you're watching us on Super Talk TV, you'll see Monica. A lot of of stories happening this week, a lot of things happening very
Mhm.
quickly, as it always does at the White House. One thing that a lot of people may have missed was the announcement of Podcast Row. What do you know about
Mm.
Podcast Row?
Yeah, Podcast Row was a great opportunity here and a wonderful event here at the White House that took place in one of the special rooms here at the White House where podcasters, if you have your own show on Rumble, YouTube, you can come here and speak exclusively to Trump administrators and staffers and cabinet members, which is so different from the last administration. I mean, the last administration, you would try to even talk to somebody from the press office, and they wouldn't even give you the time of day, no matter what side of the aisle you were on, which was very interesting. But to see different kinds of podcasters here, whether they're based in different states, it doesn't matter if you are a middle of the road podcaster, a little bit more right leaning, even left leaning, they welcome all new voices here. And this comes shortly after the White House also hosted an event where local news outlets in small cities or towns throughout the entire country were actually invited here. And they held the event in the Rose Garden where they can speak exclusively to Trump cabinet members. So you're speaking to Scott Bessent, you're speaking to Howard Lutnick, you're speaking to, Linda McMahon exclusively one-on-one, face-to-face, and you're just learning about what this administration is going to do for the American people. And if that doesn't say transparency, I don't know what does. So this is one of many events I'm assuming that's going to be happening and taking place here at the White House over the next 4 years. I'm assuming they'll have it again and again, given that, we're not even 3 months in and we're already seeing, members of local media outlets and podcasters
Yep.
come here to the White House. It's a huge opportunity.
Now, you had some experience with the previous administration in dealing with
Yeah.
Karine Jean-Pierre. How much has the experience changed over the last couple months?
Chris, it's been a complete 180 and in the best way possible. I mean, being here as kind of like an outsider common sense voice up against, these mainstream media personalities and so-called journalists, it was really, really difficult. I would be in the press briefing. I'd try to go to every single one. I've been here at the White House since July 2023. So I was here the whole month of August, where, if I remember correctly, that whole month of August 2023, Karine Jean-Pierre only held about 6 press briefings that
Mm-hmm.
month, which was a stark difference from what we're seeing. We're seeing maybe once or twice a week now here in this current administration. But she wouldn't call on people past the 4th row of seats. The press briefing seats go 7 by 7, so there's 49 seats. And back in the last administration, there would be plenty of room to stand. Now in this administration, you'd be lucky if you get a little sliver of carpet to even stand on. But back then, there were open seats. There was plenty of room to stand. I would never get called on. So I said, okay, if I'm not going to get called on, then I'm going to submit my question via email or by handwritten note. So I would send my emails to the lower staff, Karine Jean-Pierre's assistant, Karine Jean-Pierre personally, and no one got back to me ever. So I
Hmm.
decided to go up to the upper press area where Karine Jean-Pierre has her office, and I asked for a meeting with her, and she never wanted to meet with me. She was always too busy. And I went up there a couple times. I'd say a small handful of times, maybe 4 or 5 times. So I mean, we never got any answers. I remember, actually, it's funny that you mentioned this. I just got reminded of this. The weekend that Joe Biden said that he was going to drop out of the race, or there was rumors that he was going to drop out,
Yep.
excuse me, I emailed the White House and I said, hey, just wondering, I'm seeing this all over social media. Is Joe Biden going to drop out of the race? So Andy Bates, he was the deputy press secretary. We call him the chief intern, which was pretty funny. That's a running joke among all of us. Chief intern Andy Bates responds to me and goes, "It's fan fiction."
Oh.
That's all he said. It's
Huh.
fan fiction. Joe Biden drops out within 24 hours the next day. So I'm like, wow, interesting. So not only am I finally getting answers now, but I'm also being lied to and gaslit. So that was nothing new from the previous administration.
Would you
But now,
would you prefer silence or would you prefer lies?
maybe I don't even know. They both equally are terrible. But now you go to the back press office, even the lower press, where all the very friendly, press staffers are back there, and you're asking a simple question. Hey, can I learn more about what Trump's tax plans are? Hey, I'm very interested to know about these tariffs. Can you provide a handout for us? And they are so quick. They are so on it. They're so quick to print stuff out for us and different kind of resources for us to just relate to and attribute to when we're doing our reports. So it's been very helpful. I'm getting called on. I've gotten called on maybe 3 or 4 times so far since this administration has been installed, and it's just been a very positive experience. I can't say better things. I mean, this outrage that you're seeing from the mainstream media about having less access and this press corps being oppressed is total lies because we were oppressed. We were the oppressed ones in the last administration.
Yeah, well, hey, every time you get called on, I feel like a personal sense of joy. I'm like, that's my girl. Let's go.
Yes.
Monica Paige is live from the White House North Lawn. Monica, how can we find you? How can we keep up with you? I understand we are going to have protests over the weekend in D.C. You're going to be covering that very closely. Where can we keep up with you online?
Yep. Thank you so much, Chris. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Monica Page TV. There's a couple of bots pretending to be me. Do not follow them. I am the only verified one. And that's so you can stay tuned to all my coverage this weekend and from the White House Daily.
Monica Paige, she's going to be joining the show every Friday at 10:05. We're very, very excited to have you kind of locked into this spot, Monica. And we really appreciate you taking the time live from the White House to join us.
Thanks so much, Chris. Anytime.
Hey, that's...